in my tutorials, and even in the way I interact with students that are members at the school on social media, via email, I channel Dr. Butcher when I talk to them. So I always tell them, here are the mechanics. Yes, all right, this is how you execute this particular technique, but don't settle there. Like, now have fun with it. Now personalize what I'm teaching you, because that's really the point behind what we do as DJs. It's not to go viral or to win a competition. That's the byproduct of you expressing yourself honestly and creatively and making an impact on people. The byproduct of that is going viral, is winning the battle, but don't do it to win the battle or to go viral. Do it to express yourself, do it to have fun, do it to tap into your higher self, the God part of who you are. And all of that philosophy was instilled in me by Dr. Butcher, for sure.
Yeah, intentionality is very important in life. So what was his job at the time?
He worked at a law firm. Like, he did office work, like bookkeeping and stuff like that at this law firm. And then on the side,
In
he,
Queens or in Manhattan?
in Manhattan,
Okay.
in Manhattan. And then on the side, he would do his DJ thing and produce for the likes of Coogee Rap, and, you know, end up in recording studios with Nas and Large Professor and all that. So he was sort of like me in that he respected the responsibilities that he had, but he stayed true to his creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the DMC, uh, was that when you were saying getting ready to get into competitions and stuff, did you go directly to that or were you doing like smaller tier ones
No,
first?
I went directly to that. We
Wow.
met, me and Dr. Butcher and I met in 1990, summer of 1990. And I told him, I was like, yo, I want to enter the next DMC, which was that following March of 1991, of 1991. And he was like, okay, we'll train. As of today, let's start training for it. And I will go to his house Monday through Friday. Every day I was there at 6 p.m. on the dot. That's when he got home from work. And we would train till like 8, 8:30. Um, and that following March, 1991, I entered my first battle. Lo and behold, Steve D's in it, Rock Raiders in it, Diamond J, all the X-Men, Clark Kent is judging. Frankie Crocker, who I listened to on WBLS, was hosting it. DJ Riz was in the competition. I mean, who's who in the New York City area was competing, and I made it through to the finals and placed third. And I remember I was so pissed off because I wanted to at least place second, because first and second place were flown to Chicago to compete in the American finals. But I lost, or came in third place. In my head, it felt like I lost. Placed third, but what ended up happening there, which was really cool, was I was so distraught. I remember I went on stage when they called my name and they gave me my prizes, and I threw the prizes into the crowd because it wasn't about the prizes for me. I wanted to at least place second. Everyone knew Steve D was going to win. And then I got off stage and I was so emotional, like crying, like literally crying, bawling my eyes out. And I found out later that Dr. Butcher saw me crying, pissed off that I didn't place second. And he went up to Steve and he was like, yo, Steve, talk to my student, man, because he's broken up right now that he didn't place second. And I think Drew was smart because I think he knew that Steve would have reached me, because I looked up to Steve so much. Although Dr. Butcher was my mentor, I also looked up to Steve D a lot. And I think Drew understood that, like, you know what, this is something that, like, it can't be me to console him. It needs to be like his hero, right? So he asked Steve to go talk to me, and Steve talked to me like, dude, it's all good, man. This is your first battle. Like, you did good. You placed third. Chill out. Here's my number. Call me. you and Drew, I want you guys to come practice with me. And boom, the tears stopped. And I was like, yo, I remember taking the train home after that. And I'm like, yo, Drew, Steve gave me his number. Yo, when we're going to go to his house, he was like, yo, we'll go at some point. And I think the following weekend, we went to Steve's house, and Raider was there, and Johnny Cash and Sean C. And we're there practicing with my idol, Steve D, and the rest of the X-Men. And I remember when we finished practicing, Steve D looked at us and he was like, yo, so would you guys like to be down with the X-Men? And I looked at Drew and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like, is this really happening right now? And me and Drew, Dr. Butcher, we were like, yeah, man, sure, we'll get down with you guys. And that's how I developed my relationship and connection to the X-Men, was from that battle. And then the next year I entered in 1992 and won, you know? So yeah, man, those are great memories for me, great memories. And I'm grateful for that period in my growth as a DJ, man, because I think it helped cultivate within me like a sense of like respect, you know, for what we do, and how relationships can help point you in a path of success, you know?
Absolutely. And success, I firmly believe, begets success. And I wanted to know, from getting third place, then winning, then X-Men, like these different things that were happening, how, because I think back then and even today, people think if you win something or you're viewed as the best, like all of a sudden you got $1 million, or all of a sudden you're doing A, B, and C, when that's not true. So what was the reality of the third place finish and how your life changed? The first place finish, how your life changed? Joining the X-Ecutioners, X-Men, how did that, each one of those, change you in ways you expected or didn't expect at the time?
I feel like each accomplishment, placing third, was great. I felt pride, but I understood to not settle there, and that I needed to use the momentum that I created placing third to propel me to the next step, which was interacting with Steve D and those guys. And in allowing that to happen, now I'm a part of this group of DJs that were fierce, you know, sick, talented, creative, and coming up. Then I won in 1992. Now, where am I going? And where I ended up was, after winning the DMC in 1992, I started DJing for Akinyele. And Akinyele at the time was buzzing on the streets because he was on Live at the Barbecue featuring Nas, Joe Fatal, Large Professor. That song in that time period was like the hottest song. You know, you had all these up and coming rappers, and Nas, being who he is now, you know, leading the way on that song. And so being that Akinyele was on that song, it got him a record deal with Interscope Records, and he tapped me to be his DJ because guess what? He was at the 1992 DMC and saw me win. And I remember getting off stage and he went up to me, he was like, yo, Rob, with his fucking deep ass grizzly voice, yo man, it's Akinyele. And I'm like, oh shit, what up? And he's like, yeah, man, heard about you. I came here to just check you out and check out the battle in general. I think he was scouting the battle to see, you know, who he wanted to be his DJ. You know, back then, man, every MC had a dope DJ. You know, it's not the way it is now with, you know, these trap rappers and a lot of, honestly, regular rappers as well. Like they're not conscious of like who they should pick to DJ for them. They're more worried about the money they're making or whatever the case is. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. at that time, every rapper had a dope DJ, and Akinyele, I think, respected that concept. So he went to the battle, saw me, I won, tapped me to be his DJ. Toured with Akinyele for a few years. Now what? You know, I realized I came to a point where I felt like I could be someone's tour DJ forever, and it just end there, or ask myself what's next. And I asked myself what's next, and what was next after that was the whole time I was a part of the X-Men, rocking with Mr. Sinister, Rock Raider. By now, Total Eclipse got down, and it was the four of us representing the X-Men. And I asked the guys, I was like, yo, each of us DJ for a rapper. Sinister was DJing for Common. Rock Raider was DJing for Showbiz and AG. Total Eclipse was DJing for Organized Confusion. And I sat them down and I asked them, I was like, is this what you guys want to do for like the rest of your careers? Or do you want to maybe like get your own plate to eat off? Because we could eat off our rapper's plate, but when their career ends or when they decide they're done, where we left. And I remember I posed that question to everyone, and they were like, nah, we get where you're coming from, Rob. And I was like, yo, let's put out our own music. Let's do our own records. And this is around the time that like I started working with Joe from Fat Beats, DJ Jab, and understanding that like, well, Rob Swift is a talent in it of itself. That is a brand in it of itself. Like, I don't necessarily have to rely on just DJing for Akinyele. Like, I got Joe from Fat Beats asking me to make singles and put out music on his label. We have companies from the West Coast, Asphodel Records, letting us know that they're interested in signing the group, 4 DJs to a record contract. Like, there's more to this than just DJing for a rapper. And so it grew, you know what I mean? It grew, man. And I guess the answer to your question is like, I always felt every accomplishment was just a stepping stone to the next thing. And I never settled at any accomplishment. And so that's why I've managed to cultivate the longevity that I have in this art form, because I'm never satisfied with where I'm at. Grateful, yes. Grateful for every experience, every connection I've made, every opportunity, from meeting Dr. Butcher to DJing for Akinyele, to being a member of the X-Men, to touring the world with the X-Ecutioners. But I think if I would have settled at any of those places in my career, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, which is self-sufficient economically. I run my own DJ school. I'm the resident DJ for ESPN's College Game Day. We start touring this Saturday. You know what I mean? Like, the things that I'm doing now as a DJ, if you would have told me when all I thought I wanted to do is just win a DMC, I wouldn't believe you. I wouldn't believe all the things that I'm doing now. But I also am grateful to myself for not settling. Like, once I accomplish something, like I would have tunnel vision about a goal. I want to win a battle. And then I'd win the battle, and then I'd be like, all right, now what? Whereas for a lot of people, they'll have tunnel vision about winning the battle. I want to win a battle. They win the battle, and then that's it. Or they'll enter another battle, and another battle, and another battle, and another battle. And then it's 15 years, and they've just been battling. My thing was like, accomplishment, what's next? Accomplishment, what's next? Accomplishment, what's next? Accomplishment, what's next? That's always been my thing, you know? And so that's why I'm where I'm at today.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
What's that 5 on your TV back with NWA?
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.